he was
violence.
inciting violence.
Yeah, I mean, don't tell people to go hurt people.
Out of the video.
Your motivation became clear when you informed the police you promoted the idea of attacking the Britannia Hotel as a result of anger and frustration and immigration problems in the country. So what was his post, though? Oh, this is it. You want to say that you do not want your money going to immigrants who rape our kids and get priority. The judge later said the overall effect of your post was to incite violence toward the building and therefore towards those in the hotel. It was not only the refugees and asylum seekers who were likely to be affected by your post, but also the hotel managers, the night porters, and those who worked within the hotel. That's actually reasonable. That in that case, I see what you're saying. So incitement to violence is illegal even in America, right? It's a different thing than just freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So that is different.
Yeah, you
but
shouldn't
it's also
tell
it's just
people to hurt people.
The guy wearing the wig.
Yeah, it makes it look insane.
It's like you have to have a special outfit for me to take you seriously. Because if you're just like a regular guy and you're saying you were inciting violence, and then the guy go, yeah, but do you know what the people in that hotel did?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what they've done. Let me tell you, they've raped underage girls. They have grooming gangs. They live there. They're getting priority. They're getting paid our money. They're on the dole. You would have a conversation.
Yeah.
This guy's yelling out to the abyss on Parlor because he doesn't know where else to go.
Yeah.
And this guy's go, well, the solution to that is I put you in a cage.
Yeah.
Look at that, it was on his wig. Put the thing on so you can hear this.
Of the tax us hard-working people earn when it could be put to better use. Come over here with no work visa, no trade to their name, and sit down and doss. And then there's more people being put out homeless each year. They get top band priority on housing. You went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority, end quote. Although you said that you had no intention of carrying out any act of violence, there can be no doubt that you were inciting others to do so. Otherwise, why post the comment? You expressed remorse, but by that time it was too late. For the offence of publishing written material in order to stir up racial hatred, there are sentencing guidelines which I must and will follow. The maximum sentence is 7 years imprisonment. In my judgment, this comes close to harm category 1. However, for the purposes of this sentence, I will treat you as falling into category 2, since there was no direct encouragement towards activity which threatens or endangers life. However, you fall towards the top of category 2. For a category 2A offence, the starting point is 2 years imprisonment with a range between 1 and 4 years custody. In mitigation, I take into account your plea of guilty, for which you will receive full credit of 1/3, following your earlier admissions. I take account of the contents of the references from your mother, friend and employer. These can only be of limited value in the current circumstances, as can the contents of the pre-sentence report. I take account too of your expression of remorse, your lack of convictions which are racially aggravated. As is recognised on your behalf, this offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable. The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. In response to
This is tricky because the guy did incite violence. This is tricky because the guy did incite violence. This is tricky because the guy did incite violence.
I think a lot of people are very naive. I think a lot of people are very nice person.
Yeah.
You know, they're very nice. I think a lot of people are they're just venting like they would be venting at the barbershop. They're very nice. They're hanging out at the barbershop like, fuck those people. Someone should go over there and kick their ass. Yeah.
Yeah, people also looking for community. They're looking to feel like validated in their beliefs. Like,
it is pretty wild that these people are coming over to Europe and even to America as a direct result of military campaigns.
So that's the other thing I found so funny is that, like,
they're not going over there because where they live is awesome.
And, like, there's reasons why it's not awesome. And there needs to be a little accountability for that. Like, I heard even, like, the British comedians, they were, like, shitting on, doing the Saudi or even, like, shows in the Middle East, and they're like, they employ people at slave wages, etc. to build it. And it's just like, guys, I wonder what happened. I wonder what country did something to India back in the day that created a scenario where those people might have to leave their country to get a job to afford to provide food for their whole families back in India. I wonder what country might have plundered India and stripped it of all of its wealth for fucking, I don't even know how long, that created this scenario. Like, you can't just remove yourself from that.
Have you ever read that book about that one corporation?
Yeah, what is it, that basically that turned India into a country, like a factory, essentially? Yeah,
literally.
Well, what was it? Was that not
God, I forget the name. I read the book a while ago.
I saw like a YouTube video on this.
Well, I should say I listened to it. I listened to the book a while ago. I can't remember the name of the corporation.
Jamie, you got to hold us down.
It is a crazy story, though. And that's England. So, you guys, your ancestor did it. It's the chickens have come home to roost.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you have to be okay with it.
No.
But you have to at least be understanding of, like, how this scenario was created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, clearly they're letting them in. And they're letting them in, and the thing is like, oh, we've got to do something to stop this violence. Now we have Rise of East India Company. That's it. The Anarchy.
Yeah.
The Relentless Rise of the East India Company. Crazy book.
Oh, dude.
And it's all real.
Or like what fucking Leopold did to the Congo.
Oh, God.
It's like 25 million people that were killed.
Oh, God. Yeah. The Congo thing is nuts, man, because a bunch of these settlers thought that they were going to live in the Congo, and they set up these beautiful mansions.
In the forest.
It just swallowed it up.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It just let them know you're not welcome.
One of the truly wild places in the world.
There's still images of these places, these like Elizabethan, is that the type of architecture? That are just completely swallowed.
Swallowed by the jungle.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the wildest part of the world is where we need to go to get the minerals to make the batteries in your cell phone.
Maybe that's why it's the wildest?
But no, it was always wild. It's wild because it's like inhospitable. I mean, they have the largest chimpanzees in the world there. They have those Bondo apes there in the Congo.
Yeah.
In this place called Bili.
Okay.
They have this one subset of chimpanzees that's really large, and they call them lion killers. They have two different types of chimps that the locals describe, tree beaters and lion killers. The lion killers, they sleep on the ground like gorillas. They don't give a fuck. They don't have to hide in trees.
Yeah.
They're like, come get me, bitch.
Yeah, I want
They're like
that.
6 foot tall, upright chimpanzees. Like, you know that Michael Crichton book, Congo? You ever read?
No.
They made a movie.
Crichton is Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crichton made a movie. It was kind of a goofy movie about the Congo. And the Congo, in the movie, there's these like gray chimpanzees that are huge. And obviously that's not real.
But that's what they're based on.
But it's based on this one subset of chimpanzees that actually has a crest on its skull like a gorilla. So, gorillas have such large mandible because all they eat is vegetables, that they have this is the Michael Crichton movie. It was kind of goofy. Look at these big, silly gorillas.
Oh, wow.
And they fuck this dude up. They look so bad.
Oh, wow.
But the book is a lot better. But in reality, there's a thing called the Bondo ape. And there's I guess he's a Swedish or Swiss wildlife photographer named Carl Armand who became obsessed with this animal and started catching it in camera traps. And there was photos of these guys see if you can find the photo of the guys at the airport where they shot one. So these guys, look at these guys, but that's not it. No. The one above it. No. Yeah, that's it. Look at the size of that fucking thing. Look at the size of that thing. It's like a gorilla-sized chimpanzee. And there's different photos of them on camera traps where they're...
Holy shit. No, that's an
orangutan,
yeah.
I think.
No.
Or a gorilla. Yeah. But they have video of these things now. They know that they're a subset of chimpanzees. That's not a really big one. That looks like just a big chimp. But the idea is that this place is like rugged. I mean, this is leopards and.
But like Joe, there's a
it's
lot
scary.
of rugged places. I just feel like when there's a place that's resource rich, there's going to be a lot of conflict around.
Oh,
it.
100. Well, that's the Amazon too.
Yeah,
Same kind of situation, like really wild, pristine jungle, and then people are hacking it down because they want to make cattle farms and log.
But like, isn't it to the best interests of the parties that are invested in the resources there for there not to be social cohesion? Like, it's easier to manage if everybody's fighting, because if there is social cohesion, you have a situation like, Rhodesia, which just basically goes, hey, we're going to be a great country, by the way, and we're going to, take back our mining rights, and we're going to make sure that we own our resources, and we're going to educate our people, and we're going to have a high GDP. Like, there's a pretty amazing story that's tied into it, and they're like, okay, well, we can't let that happen in the Congo. We got to keep this shit a little bit chaotic.
Yes.
Because aren't there especially with the battery stuff, aren't there only 9 different mines for that, and China owns 7 or something?
Something like that. I don't know how many mines there are, but China owns a bunch of them. And, that's Siddharth Kara wrote a book on it. He came in and he got undercover footage that shows these people with babies on their back pulling cobalt out of the ground with a mask over their face, like a bandana, to protect themselves from the toxic fumes.
I'm performing there next week.
Hey! I look forward to David Cross's blog about it.
My favorite post. The people who are not invited and don't have to even go. But I really wouldn't. It's like, all right,
he probably wouldn't. David probably wouldn't.
We'll
But
see.
there's a thing.
We'll see.
Yeah, I remember when David Cross wrote a letter to Larry the Cable Guy. He was shitting on Larry the Cable Guy in an open letter. And then at the bottom of the post, it was from New York City. He signed it from New York City.
Bro, I saw him getting upset that Norman farted on his podcast.
That Mark Norman
Yeah,
farted?
and telling him that a fart isn't funny. And I'm just once I see you do that, I'm just
first of
what are
all,
we even
Norman
talking about?
is funny, period.
Yeah,
So if
we
he's
know
funny and he also farts, okay, who cares?
Well, also farts are funny. And
Yeah.
Norman said it. He's like, that wasn't a joke. That was not funny. And then Norman says, a sound came out of my butt. That's always funny. It's funny when a baby does it. It's funny when an adult does it. It is the funniest
dog
thing.
does it.
What are we fucking talking about here? Obviously.
It's funny. It's funny because you're like, oh no.
Yeah. And then he just dropped the N-word on the pod, and not Norman, Cross. And then Norman's like, you gonna cut that out? He's like, no, you don't have to cut it out. It has the AH. And it's like, oh, well, thank you, white guy. You tell us what N-words we're allowed to say. You can tell us where the comedians are not allowed to perform, but you tell the black community what N-words you're allowed to say.
Yeah. It's kind of hilarious. There's a hard N-word in Bob Dylan's Hurricane.
I got
a song, The Hurricane,
I got
about Reuben Carter.
I got a little hurricane story. You want to hear?
Really?
Yeah.
You met that guy?
No. My dad interviewed his lawyer.
Reuben Carter's lawyer?
Yeah.
Really?
And his lawyer says, off the record? My dad goes, yeah. He goes, he did that shit. I probably shouldn't even say that. I probably shouldn't even say it right now. But the lawyer just tells my dad, he's like,
Bob Dylan just made it all
he
racial.
did that shit. He did it.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Who knows? Maybe the lawyer's wrong.
Or maybe he's right.
Maybe he's right. Good song.
Didn't he have a movie about it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And in the movie, there's a really racist cop that's targeting him through the whole movie. And apparently the guy was a total construct.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There wasn't one cop who was really interested, who was chasing him. They used it as a vehicle to push the storyline, which I always think is gross when you're doing something about a historical person.
Yeah.
I think that's gross.
Yeah. But
If you're
it's also
you have an
movies,
obligation, though. If you're making a movie about a historical person, you can't have a character that moves your plot along that didn't exist.
I mean,
because now you're changing history for a lot of dumbasses who don't read a book.
But, I mean, that's what the people who...
Which is most of us.
That's what the people who fucking, dictate what history is. I was talking to...
Sort of, but they're just doing it to make the movie better.
Yes, exactly. They're doing it. That's their responsibility is to make money.
Yeah.
I was talking to Shane about this, and we were just talking about ancient history. He's like, I don't fuck with the ancient history. And I'm like, why not? He goes, nobody really knows what fucking Augustus said to this guy. Like, people are just making it up and like writing it down afterwards. He's like, you really kind of barely even know what happened 50 years ago or like 100 years ago. And I think that's one of the reasons why, if you get into like antiquity, it's so interesting, because it's just been like mythologized.
Yeah.
So everything is so much more remarkable and amazing, and the people are so much more resilient because they've been retelling the story for 2,000 years. If you want people to listen to that story, you got to make it interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you got to make it interesting. And the thing is also, you have to remember it, and then you have to tell it to people before anybody even figures out how to write things down.
Yeah.
So they're saying it for 1,000 years before they even write it down.
Yeah.
That's my issue with the Bible.
What is?
I think the Bible is a historical account of something.
Yeah.
And I think one of the real problems with the Bible is, as you get older and older with the Bible, things get weirder and weirder. So it's like, what was the original story? Like, if you get to the Dead Sea Scrolls are bananas. And there's stuff in the Dead Sea Scrolls, like if you get, like, I had Rep Luna, Anna Paulina Luna on the podcast, and she was talking to me about the Book of Enoch. She goes, you ever read that? And
But
I was
that's
like,
not
no.
included in the canonized.
Here's why. Because of rabbis. A bunch of rabbis said it didn't align with the Torah, and so they yanked it out. But it's an original biblical text, or at least a part of the original religious text that they found in the Dead Sea Scrolls in Qumran. When they found those clay tablets, the Book of Enoch was in there along with the Book of Isaiah.
We need to call Wesley
The Book
Huff.
of Enoch is nuts.
That's
I
the
talked to Wes
Giants
Huff about
one.
it.
That's the Giants
It's
one,
not
right?
just the Giants, it's aliens. It's about the Watchers who came down and mated with human beings. Bro, I'm reading it right now.
I know you are. I
It's
already know.
bananas. She told me to read it. And she's like, you have to read this. It's nuts.
And what did Wes Huff say? Did he say there's a legitimacy?
It's 100% a legitimate text. It's legitimate religious text. But they decided not to include it because it's so nuts and because it goes against like what the writings of the Torah.
Right.
So, but it was a few rabbis. Just a few rabbis decided.
That next-
Like if the Book of Enoch was included in the Bible, it changes the whole
Why would the
story of the
rabbis
human
decide
race.
what goes into the
back then
Christian?
They had that kind of power. They just decided that it doesn't get included in the canon. This is a long time ago.
But yeah, I mean, this is like around. Well, who decided the canonized Bible, right? This is like Constantine time, right?
Well, that's for the New Testament, right? And so with the Old Testament, you've got Wes Huff would be the guy to ask
Oh, wait a
all
minute.
these
Enoch
questions.
was included in the Old Testament.
Oh, it's old as fuck.
Oh, okay,
Not only is it old as fuck, when they found it, they also found a version of the Book of Isaiah. This is one of the things that Wes Huff told me that was really fascinating. They found a version of the Book of Isaiah that is verbatim the same as a version of Isaiah that was 1,000 years later, which they thought was the original.
Unbelievable.
That's what's crazy. For 1,000 years, they maintained the exact same story verbatim, writing it down and passing it on. And the Book of Enoch's in there with that. And the Book of Enoch is bananas.
Yeah, I think we might need to do a little deep dive on the Book of Enoch.
The Book of Enoch, it says that these Watchers came down and mated with human beings and created a race of giants called the Nephilim, who consumed and destroyed everything in front of them. Gee, that sounds like people. That sounds a lot like people.
Yeah.
If you got a bunch of little chimps and then you got these tall aliens and they make a fucking 7-foot man, a Viking, who's like chopping off heads and lighting villages on fire and has this unstoppable desire for conquest, that's humans. The Nephilim sounds like humans.
Exactly. So they're not giants. We are the giants. And then what if the other folks...
They might have been giants. Like, it's hard to say.
But what if the other folks were the Neanderthals? Well, because there was a time where we're living together, right?
Right. Well, they were here before us, allegedly. Well, the question is, like, where did humans come from?
Yeah. This
is the real question. There's a really interesting show on PBS right now called Human, where this lady goes on this journey of, it's like, she's, what is her degree in? Is she an anthropologist? I believe she's an anthropologist. But, or maybe some sort of biologist, but she goes over the history of the human species. It's very interesting. The migration from across the Bering Land Bridge into North America, when the oldest people started coming here, how they came here. Fascinating stuff. But that's one of those things, like, if you think ancient history is filled with horseshit, like ancient human history, like of the humans. That's the woman's name. I don't want to fuck up her name. Ella Al-Shamahi. And it's on BBC and PBS. Really good show. I just started watching it. She's a paleontologist, degree in genetics and taxonomy and biodiversity. But they just found recently a human skull that pushes the date of humans back another 500,000 years.
Yeah.
So it's like all they know is what they find in the fossil record, and there's so little fossil record.
Yeah.
And then they keep finding new things.
Yeah.
Like they just found Denisovans in like 2010. They're like, whoa,
what is that?
What's this? Total new branch of the human tree.
It's called
Denisovans.
Denisovans.
Yeah, they
Okay.
found like a bunch of teeth, I think, in Asia, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And then or maybe it was Russia. So there's that. There's the one that they found in China, the big head people.
That's the one I saw.
Real recent.
Yeah.
That's real recent. I forget what that one's called. We've done this a million times, but I always forget. But so they're always finding these new versions of humans. So how many of them really were there? But if there's a bunch of science experiments, if aliens are coming down and like, let's try them where they're short, really powerful, and they only eat meat. And that's Neanderthals. Like, stop. This one's not a good design. This is not a good design. We need them a little more frail so they invent things.
Yeah.
Because the brutes don't invent anything.
Yeah, more frontal cortex.
Yeah, the Neanderthals had bigger brains than us. That's what's interesting.
So then what part of our brain was specifically different?
See, we have a very our idea of them is that they were dumb and they couldn't talk and that they were brutes. But it doesn't seem like that's true. In fact, it seems like they had art, they definitely had tools, and they had language. And they might have been as smart as us. They were just different. And maybe us being a little weaker is what made us smarter. You know?
Or made us work collectively.
Maybe we're a little more alien. Just a touch.
Right.
There's a little too much salt in that stew. Let's add a touch more of us. And, it seems like the hairy, 5'7", 200-pound fucking savages with big eyes that might be able to see at night. Because it looks like they might have had night vision. They have huge eyeballs, man.
Right.
The Neanderthal eye socket's way bigger than ours. Their skull's thicker. Their bones are more dense. They might have had night vision, like a dog. You know how dogs, their eyes glow when the headlights hit them? They might have had that same ability.
I mean, I don't know why.
That design's too sketchy.
It's just not
They
working.
could see at night,
Yeah.
and then they go hunting other people. This is too much.
But then we hunted them.
Maybe. We might have just fucked them.
I also would be fucked up.
Well,
Yeah,
we
you had
hunted
that
them and
joke,
we
right?
fucked
You're like, I got a little bit of... Yeah.
One more time with the monkey.
But in terms of like the stories, like, all right, you know when a comic gets off stage and like they think they killed but they bombed?
Right.
Like there could be people telling those stories in the books.
There could be.
Like meaning what their rendition of what happened is in the book, and that is what they truly believed happened. They might not even be delusional. They are delusional, but like that's what they saw, and that's what happened to them.
And history is always written by the winners.
Exactly.
Yeah. My version of the Bible story back in the day, I used to have this bit about Noah's Ark. I was like, the problem with the Bible is people are full of shit, and that story sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's that simple. It's
Yeah.
like people lie all the time. I've never met any politician or any person who's in charge of anything that's like really important that I would say never lies. So if you're back then where there's zero accountability, zero video, zero anything, they can't even write.
Well, that's where the cross-referencing makes sense, right? It's like that's when you got a bunch of different people saying the same thing or similar things. You start to go, okay, maybe this did happen. But I don't know. There is something about it. Like every time I go to church and like whatever, something about the music. I get like emotional, and I've tried to like reflect on it and understand like what it is. I don't know if it's like seeing people submit to this power that's greater than them. There's just like, I get just really emotional about it. I don't know what the hell it is.
Well, it's a combined shared experience that you're having with all the people that are in that building too.
Yeah.
There's something to that.
And I'm just like watching, like maybe it's like maybe I'm a little cynical and skeptical, and like I can get caught up in the raw emotion of submitting to something that you cannot control. And maybe there's a part of me that really kind of like envies that and wants to, in the same way that like,
but because you have a lot of control.
I don't know if I have any, but like
no,
maybe
you
I
do.
want
You
that.
have a lot of discipline. And
Discipline, yes.
Yeah, but a person who, like yourself, does a lot of discipline and a lot of work ethic, that doesn't come without control over yourself.
Yes.
And you want to submit and give into something sometimes.
And there's something beautiful in that. And
Yeah,
like seeing
yeah.
people do it so willingly, like I get fucking emotional. I've thought about it a lot. I don't know what it is, but it happens almost every time. And it's specifically with the music.
Yeah. Well, I think music is a very powerful thing. I mean, that's when we were playing What Up Gangsta. I mean, come on, man. We're we were both on a drug.
Dude, there's a...
Your whole body starts moving. You're like, oh, come on.
I was talking to this guy. He's a photographer for F1. He's been doing it for like 30 years. And he literally takes off one race a year to go to like this music festival. He just loves music. And like, I asked him if he saw Oasis, because Oasis is back. And you're a fan of Oasis?
Yeah, love them.
And what's so interesting is happening like with Oasis specifically is right now we don't live in like the monoculture anymore. Like there's 1,000 different silos and everybody thinks that like the thing happening in their world is the most important thing. There's no like universal new rock star. Like Justin Bieber might have been like the last person that was like a musician that everybody knows. There's a K-pop band that none of us can name the guys that is the biggest band in the world.
Arenas.
Exactly. But like back in the day, especially when we were growing up, there were bands that were just Metallica, like performing in Russia. Like these things were just kind of, there was a monoculture, and then the internet has divided that, and that just is what it is. But what's kind of interesting is I feel like the people who did experience monoculture, they're going back to these like nostalgic events. It's like why existing IP movies are the only movies that work, right? It's like they want to feel those moments when we all were experiencing the same thing at the same time. And like I'm seeing these like Oasis clips, like I was on a show, but all my boys went to go see Oasis, and like there's a really interesting thing. The lead singer, I guess, is it Noel or Liam is the lead singer? I'm such like a casual. Doesn't matter. Like he's just wearing a tracksuit, like he's just wearing like fucking like and like to me, I'm like that's the most rock star shit. Wearing the big flamboyant thing was rock star when everybody was wearing suits. But now that everybody is big flamboyant, just showing up in a fucking hoodie to your fucking stadium show, it just lets you know, like, I'll do whatever.
It's gonna be the day when we're gonna throw it back to you.
100,000 people at the same time waving. Yeah, I don't know. I like.
Oh my God, what a song! That For real?
We're that good. We're that good at
damn.
singing.
So what do we have to do? Cut that part out? Yeah, let's cut that part. We were just singing an Oasis song. Unfortunately, you can't hear it because of tyranny.
Tyranny!
And fascism.
But it's, I don't know, like...
I love comics throwing out that word, too. That's a funny one. Throwing out fascism.
Nobody even knows what that fucking word means. That's the most annoying thing. Nobody knows the definition of that shit.
There's a few people online that are like political debaters that know the definition of that word. But what it is like, you're bad.
That's it.
Yeah, you're bad.
You're an asshole. I'm going to call you an asshole politically.
These people are bad.
Yeah, and I want to sound smart when I'm calling you an asshole. I disagree with the things that you're doing, so I'm going to use this word that neither of us really know the definition of. Because if you call me a fascist, I can't really say I'm not, because I don't know what the fuck that shit is.
Well, that's the problem with like things like Antifa. Well, of course you're anti-fascist.
Yeah, it's a pretty good thing.
Yeah. It's like the Patriot Act.
Aren't we all?
I'm a patriot. Take my rights.
Yeah.
Of course I'm a patriot. Take away my rights.
It's like every time a
Mr.
politician
Obama
like pushes a bill that's like the "Don't Hurt Women" bill.
Yes.
But all it is like tax incentives for some group. And
that's
now
why Trump is so ridiculous. The big, beautiful bill.
It's just like everything is more like, why would you're going to veto big?
It's
big.
beautiful. It's big.
But that's the political game, man.
It's a stupid fucking game.
Bro, it
is.
is.
It's a stupid game to base your entire personality and identity about.
That's
the weird part.
And people do.
Yeah, it's everything.
People do.
And they're in a life or death struggle every 4 years. Like, settle down.
Because it's a zero-sum game. Power is a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, if I think that this person is going to completely change my life and completely strip me of everything I have, anybody that supports that person and that person are completely evil.
Right.
And then once you think someone's evil, you can do anything to them.
Right. Well, the people that have an argument about that are Mexican immigrants, especially the children of Mexican immigrants who maybe their family, maybe they're legal because they were born here, but their parents aren't, and they're realizing their parents might get kicked out. Like, that's scary.
It's fucked up.
That's scary.
Yeah, I don't like the ICE stuff at all.
It's not just bad, it's bad for them. And I don't know how they don't realize that this is the worst look ever.
It's also a bad look for ICE.
Yeah.
Like ICE itself is a very important institution.
Yeah.
Like you want to make sure that you have a government program that can enforce the borders and also like remove people that are here illegally, especially people that are doing criminal activity. Like this is an institution that we shouldn't malign. This is one that we should be proud of. This is a good thing. But then when every video coming out is like seeing these people living like porn with their families and all this kind of stuff, it's like, yeah, you're going to have a lot of animosity towards these groups. And I know we're having this conversation right now. There's already people getting a video going, well, this is what you guys wanted. And this is like,
no.
One of the things I actually talked to Trump about is like, how can we not do this? Like, what can we do? How do we have these people who've been living here for fucking 10 years? They're paying taxes. Like, why don't we give them a pathway to citizenship? And I specifically was like, yo, you own hotels. You've employed these people.
Right.
You know they're good people.
Right.
Like if you like we're entertainers, like we work in fucking restaurants. You know what I mean? Like we know we work with these people and you see them grinding, like I don't know. Yeah, that's a very frustrating.
I think their problem with it is multifaceted, but I think one of the issues is the way the census works. Because the way the census works, you get congressional seats based on the amount of people that live in an area, regardless of whether or not those people are citizens. So yeah, isn't that nuts? So if you have so like say if you import...
how do you prove that they're there then if they're illegal?
Because you get, the census doesn't check to see your legality. It just counts the number of people that live in a residence.
But how do you count it? Like they have to fill the census out, right? Why would they fill it out if they're here illegally?
That's a good question. But they know. They know based on employment. They know. It's like there's a bunch of different points of data that they get it from. That's a good question. But the point is... It doesn't matter if they're illegal. So if you fill out a sentence and you're illegal, it doesn't matter. It just matters how many people are in this area, and that dictates how many congressional seats you get. So if you can import a bunch of people, also if you encourage these people to fill out the census because it's politically beneficial to your party, right? Especially if you help those people get in. So if you invited them into this country, actually flew them out to that place, put them up in hotels, that kind of deal, then you can get more congressional seats because you have more human beings.
So that's the argument. Like a lot of people chalk it up to they're giving these people voting rights, and it's like, no, that's not what's happening. They're actually increasing the amount of representatives you could have in a certain
They are, but then we went over this yesterday in Tim Walz's state in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They actually passed a law where they give them driver's licenses, and they could use those driver's licenses to vote. It's not legal, but someone could break the law and do it with those driver's licenses. The problem is they know that some people have. There definitely have been instances where illegal aliens have voted for whatever election.
Right.
So the question is, did they move them there for congressional seats? Did they move them there for cheap labor? Did they move them there because if they pay for these people and give them ABT cards, and then eventually they devise a pathway to citizenship if they get like a Democrat in 4 years, we have to take care of our community regardless of whether if you're a good person, a hardworking person, we want you to join Team America. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And so then all of a sudden, those people who you got in, gave EBT cards, put them up in the Roosevelt, now those people are voting.
Right, and obviously they're going to vote for the people who have protected them, and
100%.
And I wouldn't blame them for that at all.
Especially now, this is why it's politically dangerous for the Republicans, because this support of ICE and seeing that you just lost the whole Latino base, right?
Yeah.
Except the hardcore Cubans who don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
we ain't voting Democrat.
That was the joke I had. It's like the second they put their foot on dry land, they're like, we got to stop this immigration. This is too much, guys. This is too much.
Especially from communist countries. Get the fuck out of here with those ideas.
100%.
They've experienced communism, and that's why they embrace materialism. Cubans love Cuban links, big ass gold chains to let a motherfucker know I got some cheddar.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because in their country, like, you get what they give you, and that's it.
I heard a good quote. You know Carlos Slim is? You've heard of Carlos Slim. He's like a telecommunication magnate. He's the wealthiest guy in Mexico, but they own all over the world. He's like, super billionaire. And apparently, this is a secondhand, but like he's this guy who I don't know what he looks like, but I'm aware of his name. He's incredibly powerful, incredibly successful.
What a great name.
Of course, amazing, right? And sounds like a pool player, right?
It sounds like he's related to Iceberg.
Yeah,
the guy who wrote the
I know
the Pip
well.
book.
Yeah.
He wrote a book on Pippin.
That book is terrifying. Like, I was like, how do I make sure these guys don't meet my wife? You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking horrifying, that book. But But yeah, he had an interesting thing about like, I'm always impressed by these guys who have all this power, but they don't want any of the limelight. Like, I don't know what he looks like, but I know the name and I was involved in everything.
Yeah.
And apparently he said something like, even billionaires can be new to money, implying that like a lot of the guys that we see, we hear, the guys that are all over the place, like they're new to this and they on some level want it to be known that they got it.
Right.
And the people who've maybe done it for, you know, legacies, generations, they're like, you actually get yourself in more trouble the more people know.
Oh, for sure. Right?
But it's hard to like be broke and then get some money and not want to flex it.
Well, even if you don't want to flex it, if you just have it, like if you're Jeff Bezos, you're out in the middle of the Caribbean, you know, with Lawrence Sanchez chilling on a yacht. There's someone with a drone taking photos of you.
I mean, you also do your wedding in Venice, like you want to flex it.
That was flexing.
You want to flex
That was her, I bet.
Yeah.
She was like, I want to be.
Oh wait, you don't think Jeff wanted to do his second wedding in Venice?
With a bunch of celebrities, invite every famous person on earth, the Kardashians show
Met
up
3 times.
Yeah.
You don't think he wanted that?
Yeah, hilarious.
But that's what happens, bro. So the wedding is the wife's.
Right, and you kind of gotta go too. You're like, damn, we
You
gotta
kind of
go
got to
to
get your
Venice.
own. Oh, I thought you were talking about Jeff going to his own wedding.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, exactly. Do I have to go? This feels like your thing. Are you sure I have to do it?
I have to support you in this venture.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you like if you get invited to that and you're like one of their fucking friends, they're like, oh great. Yeah. Fly to Venice and be a part of the zoo.
See, that's how like kind of we would feel about it. But
Yeah.
there are certain people who are like, I think they almost define themselves by those invitations. Yeah.
For what?
I think I define
It's so
myself
crazy.
on being able to miss the wedding.
Well, there's also a thing that we actually make stuff ourselves rather than have to get hired to go make us stuff. You know, like you'll do a movie occasionally if you want to, but you make your own comedy, you make your own podcast, you
Right.
make your own stuff. When you're an actor and you don't make your own stuff and you got to appear in other people's stuff, there's a whole different layer of bullshit that you have to dance with.
There's a reliance.
Yeah, there's a reliance, and then there's also like a currency of being current, you know, and
Being
you
hot.
Yep. You got to be a part of that. Yeah, and that's when one of the things you see about comics that lash out at people. It's like Maron's a good example of this. Is like once you've got no currency, that's when you start lashing out.
Yeah.
Because you got to get attention some way.
Yeah.
And you're not getting it through your art. So what's the way to get it? You have to figure out some way to be current. So find out what is current and then shit all over it. And get the people who think Elon's a fuckwit. He's a fuckwit. Yeah, like get those people and they're like, yeah, fuck Schultz. Yeah. Fuck Rogan. Fuck everybody. But yeah.
I mean, that's got to be the worst thing is like to be a comic that only gets attention when you talk about comedy.
Right.
Like you want to get attention from your jokes. You want people to like you for the
You
funny
want to
things
have
you
a
say.
really interesting point that nobody else thought of.
Yeah, hilarious or something fucking stupid and silly that's hilarious. Like that's what we love.
Right.
And like that's what you actually really want. But like when the only reason anybody's talking about you is because you're shitting on your colleagues.
Right. Like that's what's bothering you in the world.
But I think that's what happened with just the whole like what's happening right now with the comedy economy. It's like I think people are feeling I think young comics are probably feeling a little bit like concerned that they don't know the way forward.
Right. They also don't know whether or not they're being forced to participate in these pylons or whether they should back off. And then they get pressure and they don't know what to do. Like I cut young guys and young women a lot more slack than I do the OGs. These people that have been around for a long time. You should know what it's like to be attacked, and you should know that this is not fair. It's not cool. And you also should, if you have an opinion on what these people are doing with whatever, whether it's Riyadh or whether have some kind of compassion for these people as human beings and as colleagues, and be charitable. Be charitable. This is what I try to do. I try to be very charitable when I talk about anybody that I'm not like in a real serious, like a Mark Maron type thing with.
Yeah.
That guy, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're a problem.
But he made his bed.
Yeah, he made his bed, and the Theo thing just really drove me crazy because Theo is the sweetest fucking human being. I love him to death.
You think that Maron
I love
wants
Theo.
to be talking about another comedian? Like, do you think that
the thing is, you remember when comics they talk about is like airline seats and travel? It's because that's all they knew, because they were on the road every weekend.
Constantly.
Because that's all they think about. That's all he thinks about is other people doing better than him.
So
that's
what
he
the
wants
bits are going to be about it.
Where's your thoughts on Gaza?
Oh, I haven't heard him say anything about that one.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
There was some crazy estimate. The actual official tallies like 67,000 people dead. But
I think it's gonna be more than that, bro.
Oh, there's Stephen Dosinger had a thing on his page where there's some human rights group that estimates it to be as high as 400,000.
Yeah, because I don't think they count missing as dead yet.
No, I mean there's no way. There's no way they know.
Yeah.
You look at all that rubble, and bro, okay, so there's that, but then there's also what Hamas is doing right now.
Yeah.
In Gaza, which is crazy. These executions and tortures of people that they think collaborated with Israel. Woo!
Horrific.
Me and Tommy Segura have a text thread that we go back and forth with literally the worst shit we find every day.
Yeah.
It's like a trauma thread. And I sent him
Tom
one.
just needs to feel something, huh? Tom just needs to feel.
I try to
He
help.
just needs to feel.
That's why I sent him these things.
You got to show him the worst shit ever. He's like, all right, I am human.
Yeah, I sent him one. He was like, that one was rough. I'm like, yeah. It's they were breaking this guy's bones with boulders. They had this guy blindfolded, and he was sitting down, and they took this enormous rock and threw it on his shin and snapped his shin in half.
Yeah.
And this guy's screaming. And then they take his arm, and they stretch his arm out, and this guy hits it with his giant bat and crushes his arm.
No, it's horrific.
It is so crazy what they're doing, and they're doing it on, Samsung 4K video on a cell phone.
And kids can see it.
Anybody can see it. My kids saw the Charlie Kirk assassination.
That's, bro.
It's like, I didn't want to see it, and then someone
watched
sent it to me. I think Tom sent it to me, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let me see. And then I watched, I was like, oh, God.
But that's the tricky thing right now, is because I think that, like, as far as we've been comedians, there's been, like, a clear path of how to make it. It didn't mean that it was accessible to everybody, but, like, when you're growing up, I'm sure it's like, get an HBO special. Mm-hmm. When I'm coming up, it was HBO, and then it transitioned to come on the Joe Rogan podcast. And that was the thing. And did it mean every single comedian that came on here became a millionaire? No. But a lot fucking did.
You gotta look.
You gotta look.
You gotta look.
You got an audience that was interested and curious and like.
If you were legit, if you were Shane Gillis, if you were if you were Ari Shaffir, whatever it was, you popped off.
Hundreds of people, right? And we saw it like instantaneously. It was like you come on and then your podcast would go #1 afterwards. Like you remember this, right? And it was like, okay, so the comics were like, okay, wow, there's a pathway forward. And then like the clip economy and the YouTube specials and these things start happening. And then people are like, okay, I do that. That's how I go pop it. Then Kill Tony erupts. And it's like, oh shit, if I can get a spot on Kill Tony, then I can make it. Right?
Yep.
And I think that like now people are going, okay, I might not be the right fit for Kill Tony because the character-based things really explode more than like say a traditional comic. It's like, okay, I don't do that. It's like, I don't know how I can even get on Joe, and if I do get on Joe, can I be on enough for the audience will see it? I put a YouTube special out, but like, it seems like there's hundreds of YouTube specials out, so it's like, I don't know if that's gonna be the thing to break me. So I think that the younger comics are kind of experiencing this thing where they're like, I don't know the pathway forward. And someone's going to invent some shit. Someone's going to do the thing that I did, that you did, where you just try something new and then it catches on and fucking that dominates what it is. But like, I think they're in this period where like, I don't know what to do. And when you don't know what to do and you're not where you want to be, that's where I think the bitterness starts to come out.
Well, you also don't know what the path forward is and if it's ever going to arrive for you, or if you're just going to be like on the outside forever.
So you're toiling in obscurity, and then you start to feel resentful. Then you start to feel angry. Before, you might feel resentful and angry, but you're like, you know what? There might be a chance Joe could see me. He'll bring me on his podcast, and then I could have all this fucking success. And it's like, so I do empathize with that like anger. But the knee-jerk reaction to just shit on everything and try to shit on the scene and like shit on Austin or like shit on these things, I don't think they realize that that's not going to get them any closer. It will get them like immediate attention. A bunch of their comedian friends around them are going to click and like and do these things. But it's not going to be that long-term sustained career. You don't build a fan base by going, I don't like that place.
You also alienate the newest scene in the world.
You alienate people who actually help you. This is the thing.
You also, you're making a fake version of what the scene is too.
But that's the internet, right? It's like
that's the crazy thing. It's like you have to say, you have to have an N-word joke. You have to, you have to go on and have a trans joke, and this is just the same thing. You know what the problem is? It's a walled garden. Austin is a walled garden. Like if you're on the outside, you see all these people having so much fun in the garden. You're like, I'm not even in there. Fuck those
walls,
people.
Joe.
It's not, but it's an appearance of a walled garden.
Exactly. And then I think that there's like people on another level up that we were saying earlier that are like seeing these like people talk shit about it, and they're getting concerned that it could like negatively impact them in a way. So they're doing this like it's the most pussy shit. They're like trying to create a little distance, not too much where they can't call you and say, hey, I got a podcast.
Oh, you mean Andrew Santino?
Yeah, like not too much where it's like, oh, I'd like to come on your pod, but I'll have a guy who's gonna shit on you for the whole fucking episode and not give you pushback. It's like, and it's not just him. Like I've seen other people do it, and it's just like, dude, you're gonna go through some cancel shit later. All these guys, they're gonna go through some later, and they had a guy that they could call that would bring them on the biggest platform in the world and let them explain themselves, have their back. Like, you will do it.
I would still do that with Santino.
Of course you would. That's your boy. I
love him.
He's a fucking amazing hang. That was a bad move. In my opinion.
He felt like, look, Mark is irrelevant. He's yelling these things out. Like, let him rant. Everyone's going to know what he's doing. But I don't think everybody on the outside does, because they don't know comedy. They don't know the business.
And it looks like you're co-signing it all. And it looks like that you're okay with this. And I'm fine with you having him on. Like, I would have Maron on, but we're going to go at it. Like, Akash calls him out. Akash calls him out every single episode. He's just like, come on, you pussy, let's talk.
Yeah, you ain't shit.
Yeah, so but also defend your boy. And that's also important because at a baseline, people don't want to see people abandon their friends at like a baseline human thing. Right. Even if you got your friends back when he's going through some shit, even if you disagree with that person did, like baseline human, you go, I kind of would want that guy as a friend.
There was a video of Trump on Letterman when, I think it's Letterman. I'm pretty sure it's Letterman. Trump when Mike Tyson got convicted. And, bro, it was like the most unpopular opinion in the world. He goes, I think his attorneys were terrible. They had the worst defense I've ever heard in my life. This girl came up to his room at 1 a.m. They said she was dancing a few hours later. She was hanging out with people, having a good time. She came over, took off her panty shield in his bathroom. And she'd also accused someone of rape was unjustly accused of rape.
So she'd done it before, yeah.
She had done the same thing before. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
No, but
that was his boy, and he defended his boy. He said, look, we don't know. We don't know what happened. And he said it on Letterman.
I respect that shit.
And he was like, whoa. And a lot of people in the comments did too, like, wow.
And Tyson got his back, you know that.
Yeah.
Like, they've talked to Tyson decades later.
Always has.
Yeah, it's a different, to me, I'm like, I thought this is normal. Like, I thought this is.
Because you're a man.
That's
the thing. There's a lot of these people that are like a salamander that's never gone through its final developmental changes, and they're stuck in like an adolescent stage of evolution forever.
Yeah.
There's men that are like that.
But that
are,
I don't know. And maybe it's because I like know guys like you and like Charlemagne who like I see them going through shit, and I see people like will try to like get me to talk to you. It's like it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like I know these people as human beings. You know a 30-second TikTok of them. So if you want to have that conversation, we're gonna have it. But like you're not gonna like the way it goes because these people are my friends, like real friends.
Right.
Not like colleagues. There are people who we're colleagues with.
Right.
But like my real friends, you guys are at my wedding.
Right.
And you've been to my wedding. Like my wedding wasn't like a comedy hangout.
Right.
It was people who I am close to. You know what I mean? Like,
by the way, it's like one of the only weddings I've ever been.
And I respected that. Took a COVID test. I just want to let you were so upset about it too. You were like, here, bitch. You sent me a picture. You're like, I'm free of it, bitch.
I was already over. Well, I don't even know if I had been.
I don't think you got it.
Beginning of being canceled about the COVID stuff. I was like, it was just starting.
Yeah. Can I pee real quick?
Yeah.
We're back.
When Tony got into it, when the first one with the Asian thing, when he got into that, people didn't know he was totally, not only was he set up, people don't know the full context of it. This guy did this whole set of like, it was like real bad comedy, and it was why do you hate Asians? Everybody hates Asians. And so Tony gets up and makes fun of him for being Chinese afterwards. They take that, they run with it. Tony fortunately had a video of that guy's set and released it along with his full set, where you see this is just what he does. He's just fucking around, and then he kills. He kills for the entire set, and he released that, and then the cancellation basically died off. But when he was going through it, man, I was really worried about him, like genuinely worried about him. He thought his life was over. He had never experienced anything like that before.
Yeah.
And then I took him with me to Salt Lake City, and it was only, God, I guess a week and a half. He took off one weekend. We did a show in Houston, and he's like, I don't think I can go on stage. I was like, just take this weekend off. I'm gonna pay you anyway. I go, I'll pay you. Just relax, and then we'll do Salt Lake City, right? Just I know you're going through it. So then he went on stage one night at the Vulcan. He's like, dude, I think I can do it. I'm back. And so then people didn't know that he was gonna be with me in Salt Lake City. So we're in the back of the room, and I announce the opening act. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, one of my best friends, Tony Hinchcliffe. And they went, yeah. They stood up, arms raised, like, fuck yeah. It was, part of it was because I was supporting him. He was going through it. It was public. It was in the middle of everything. And he went up and destroyed. The love that he got from those people, and then he went and just ran with it. And he had material on it. He was already talking about it, and it was beautiful. But it was beautiful to watch him realize, like, oh, I'm gonna be okay.
The internet is not reality,
right?
And he had that moment in real time. But he also had you having his back. Like, that's the. And I think people see that also. Like, I think there's people in the crowd that see that, and I think on a primal level they go, man, if I got caught up in some fuck shit, I would really like it if my friend had my back.
Yeah.
If people were saying things about me that my friends know were false, and they use their platforms to talk or put me on or whatever it is, I think deep down viscerally they go, oh, that's a good guy.
You got to try to, like, help people. I tried to get Steve Renazizi on when that 9/11 stuff happened, and he decided to go on Stern instead.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but I'm telling you, if I have you on, I can navigate it a little more compassionately. But I don't think at the time he understood where podcasts were versus where Stern was at the time. Yeah. Stern was still Stern in his eyes, but it wasn't Stern in terms of, like, the reach.
Yeah.
And even if it was, he's not going to handle you the same way I'm going to handle you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give you all the room in the world
to
express yourself, and I'm going to be as charitable as possible. Yeah. And I'm going to put myself in a position where I can imagine if I made up a story and then I got stuck with it. Like, oh no, and what is the way forward with that? Well, I guess the way forward, he eventually had to address it and talk about it on stage, and but you can help people. It really does work. If you have a platform and someone's going through something, like, you really can save their world. You can. You can. Especially if you show that you have support and you love them and you talk about it and talk about what a great person they are. Like, Tony's one of my favorite people ever.
Yeah, Tony's great, man. And, like, he has this massive thing, and naturally we want to pick at the people that are incredibly successful.
Yeah.
It's just like human nature. Fucking Taylor Swift gets it. You know what I mean? Like,
but bro, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Kill Tony wasn't that big back then. That's the problem.
No, back then. I'm saying even now.
Yeah, but now, well, the thing is, the second cancellation, like after he did the
Puerto Rico thing?
Yeah, the Puerto Rico thing.
Yeah.
He was already ready. He's like, I've been through this fucking storm before. I'm just gonna tie down these sails and ride this motherfucker out. But if he hadn't been through that, that would have been even more devastating, because then you're getting canceled by CNN and New York Times, and they had stories pre-written, ready to go, blaming the loss of Trump on Tony Hinchcliffe.
And then the Latino vote went up, like 15%.
Tony said the first night he slept was the night that I endorsed Trump. For real.
Yeah.
And he literally said, dude, that was the first night. He goes, I think it's going to be okay now.
Wow.
Which is crazy, because that's part of the reasons why I did it.
We gotta get Tony out of here.
Save his life.
We gotta protect Tony.
Yeah.
If little did you
Trump
know,
doesn't get
you didn't
elected.
even need to. The Puerto Ricans were like, we got this.
Yeah, well, Puerto Ricans take a joke better than anybody on the planet.
That's
that is
the thing.
a great shit-talking community.
It's-
they talk shit to each other. It's part of the
Especially
thing.
in New York, they're not going to be sensitive about anything. Now, what I would have told Tony and like what I said to him is like, I wish you had told me like what the set is, because like New Yorkers have this idea of Puerto Rico as this like beautiful Caribbean island. It's like our first vacation in New York when we go to a fancy place. It's Puerto Rico. So I think when he was connecting it to the island of garbage, which I knew where he's going. There was like a island of garbage floating in the
Pacific,
Atlantic, or
No, it's Pacific.
Right,
Pacific
so-
garbage patch.
So it was actually, he was bringing it to something that was a
Yeah.
popular story like a year or two ago. But New Yorkers don't know what the fuck is floating. You know what I mean? Like, we're just like, yo, Puerto Rico's floating. So I think that they were just like, oh, that was weird. We don't see Puerto Rico in that way.
Well,
you know?
not necessarily, because that joke murders when he did it at Madison Square Garden when he was opening for me.
Oh, really?
Fucking murdered.
Okay, fair enough.
Murdered. Because it's just a joke.
But the thing is, it's just a joke.
But it's
then
also,
again, yeah.
Puerto Rico, if you don't know, has a massive garbage problem.
Oh, I didn't
Because
know.
they have a landfill issue because they don't have much land. It's like all these fucking tourists coming over there with
Right.
their fucking water bottles.
I mean-
and they got a huge hole in the ground that's overflowing with trash.
At the end of the day, it's a fucking joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
But
Like,
it's
he
not a
doesn't
joke he should have
believe it.
done there.
That's the thing. And it's,
If he was running that joke by me, I'd be like, no.
that's not the one. That's all I'm saying.
That's
Like,
not
or
the
there's a
one.
different place that you could use that
I
might
told
go.
him not to do it, period.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, there's no upside to this. Dude.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a comedy crowd.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he goes on after some guy who's got this crazy, we're going to take back America. And all this-
That's the thing. Even doing comedy in that environment
Yeah.
is like the trickiest thing. And like, I do think like in general, like us just having politicians on and like even going to the rally, it's like, I think what's happened is that we've politicized ourselves and like we've brought ourselves into the game of politics, which is the ugliest game.
Yeah.
Like it is the ugliest
ugliest
game
game.
because it's that zero sum shit we were saying
Yeah.
earlier. It's just like, this is, people really believe it's life or death. Dude, I was pushing my daughter in a stroller, right? And a lady goes, hey, this is in New York. She goes, hey, didn't you have Trump on your podcast? And I was like, I already know what's going on. I'm like, yeah, he was on a podcast. And she's like, well, I hope your daughter has a good life. I'm like, bitch, you live in Tribeca. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think is happening over here? Your husband works for fucking Goldman. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
right.
what do you think he's voting for? But like that type of vitriolic hate to a stranger on the street.
Which said what?
I said, I go, oh, do you have a daughter? Because she just looked lonely. And I really wanted her to be like, no. And then I was just going to lower the fucking boom. And then she was like, yeah, I have two. And I was like, okay, well, I hope they have good lives. She out crowd worked me.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was like in shock. Like, I'm like, I'm with a child. Like, why are you talking to me in the street? Like,
I saw a video of a lady getting out of a cyber truck in New Jersey, and
Yeah.
some woman yelled at her, you fucking racist, you racist. She's like, what?
yeah.
Somebody just gave me a ride.
It was an Uber.
No, it was like
Oh.
she got a ride from somebody who had a cyber truck.
Oh,
she got
wow.
out of the car,
Oh, yeah.
and
So-
some lady started calling her a racist.
Yeah, so
out of
people-
nowhere.
There's insane people.
Oh yeah,
There's like, and some
and they've always been
and they've
here.
always been here, and they're even more rooted in their insanity because it's rewarded every time they go on their phone.
Yes,
Like their crazy
100%.
opinions are just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you're right about that opinion. Here's evidence.
Yeah.
30 seconds at a time.
And they're dumb, so they don't realize what it's doing to them. So they're on that fucking shit all day long, getting aggravated.
And they're desperate for community.
Uh-huh.
Their whole identity is this community. God
Yeah.
forbid they have a dissenting opinion.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that community is going to ostracize them.
Yeah.
It's literally what happened to like Ezra. Like Ezra's actually trying to have real conversations. Like he believes in what Democrats can do and think that they're the best for government. And he's like, how can we make this happen? And then there are people that would be like his biggest supporters. The second he moves a little bit away, it's, I can't believe he's turned into a right-wing grifter. They're calling Ezra Klein a right-wing grifter.
Yeah. Or Elon Musk a fuckwit. Yeah, it's the same thing. You're never gonna make everybody happy. And as your profile increases, the number of ignorant people that are paying attention and commenting on you increases.
Yes.
It is, and so it's
That's
there's
a
just
great point.
Numbers.
It's like the percentage doesn't change, but the amount changes
drastically
because you have so many more people watching.
Well, especially if there's an event. Like if you had Trump on the podcast, that's the event, and then ignorant people just start yapping out their opinion. And I want them to have opinions.
No, you gotta
I think
say
it's a beautiful thing.
I'll never tell anybody not to say anything. But like, the funniest thing about the Trump pod is that like initially it was Kamala's campaign and the Democrats like loving the interview because Trump said that thing. It was a really fascinating thing to happen because both sides were going, "Oh, this is awesome," and I was like, "Holy shit!"
What did he say?
He goes, he says one of the funniest things ever. He goes, "I'm basically an honest person." And then he says it to me, and I just laugh because I'm like, I laugh for a few reasons. Like, one, I laugh because it's a hilarious thing to say.
It's very funny.
But two, it's like actually the most honest thing to say.
Yeah.
Like if I'm deconstructing it, it's like anybody who goes, "I've never told a lie," you're like, "You're a fucking liar. You just told one." But saying you're basically honest is like, yeah, I pretty much mostly tell the truth.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I say Melania looks skinnier than she does. You know, whatever the fuck every husband, you know what I mean? But like, it's, I don't know, it was just the funniest thing.
Or the Epstein files is a hoax.
Bro, the fucking Epstein thing is
nothing but a hoax.
It's just, I don't even understand. I don't get it. It is the easiest political victory. Like if you just
it is, but it isn't. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not supporting anything. Just be really clear, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But if you have relationships with all these insanely wealthy people that are going to be
hurt by this,
severely impacted by this, like this is the ultimate political football. Because I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know who the people are, but I've heard things. And if those things are true, you're dealing with some of the most powerful people in the world, some of the wealthiest people in the world.
They got to go down.
Yeah, well, it depends on what they did, right? It's like, did you go over there and have sex with a 24-year-old and do coke? Or did you go...
Totally fine.
Right. Or did you go over there? But
wouldn't you want that out? I would want that out. If like,
yeah,
if
but
you
wouldn't want that out because, like, how do you... You're connected to pedophilia, no matter what.
Oh, right, because you're like,
Epstein's Island.
She was 24, and then someone's going to go, well, did you ID her? And you're like, well, no, I didn't ID her.
But did you see underage girls?
Yeah.
Were you there? Are you complicit?
So you don't want to even be around it.
Right. Well, you can't be around it. I mean, the guy 100% had sexual relationships with underage girls, at least in Florida.
Convicted.
And convicted, yeah. And so... and you knew that when you were meeting him. That's the Bill Gates thing that's the craziest.
Not only Bill Gates, the Stephanopoulos guy. Like a bunch of them went over there.
A lot of people went over there. A lot of scientists went over there. And I think those guys thought they were going over there for this beautiful place where you can go. This guy's donating money to science. You're hanging out with movie stars, this intellectual discourse. So tell me about string theory.
Yeah.
Well, it's really fascinating. One things we've learned, and you're having cocktails like, this place is great.
Yeah.
And then you can get your dick sucked.
It's like a Diddy party for nerds.
Exactly. Exactly.
And a lot of people went to those parties.
Yeah, I don't want to say Hassan Ahmad's joke. But
What is
that? I don't want to say a joke. I don't want to ruin his joke.
Shout out Hassan, man.
Hassan's great.
Yeah.
He's got a great joke that compares it to Diddy.
He's filming a special soon, too.
Yes, he is.
I'm very excited for him, man.
This weekend.
Oh, really? So
Yes,
this coming up
upcoming weekend at the
it's
mothership.
it's
at
Black
the Black Rabbit.
Black
That's
Rabbit.
right.
So make sure
That's
you guys
right.
go check that out.
He is great. And
he's awesome.
that guy works hard. I've known him since he was a doorman at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, him and Derek do the Solid show together.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So I got to know Hassan.
No, it sounds great, man.
They have a great pod, man.
Super smart dude too.
But yeah, that's
very interesting guy. Great green room hang.
That's the other thing. It's like just being able to hang, just being able to fucking hang. Is like people think about like, oh, what are all these competitive advantages? Da, 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 how do you do this, that, the other? It's just like, can you fucking hang out?
Right.
Can you sit down on a couch and can we bust balls?
Are we fun?
It's that easy.
Yeah. Are you fun? Are you easy? Are you a happy person?
Yeah.
Are you good to get along with?
Yeah.
That makes it so easy.
Yeah.
It's like simple things that you learn in high school.
Yo, have you ever experienced where like there's a guy who's a fun hang and you haven't seen him on stage yet, and you're like, I hope he's funny.
Yes.
Because I like hanging with you.
Oh, there was some bad examples of that at the Comedy Store. I saw someone set, and I was like, oh no. I can't be friends with you. Like, this is too... Fitzsimmons and I were laughing about that once. We saw this person go on stage, and then afterwards we went into the back parking lot, and Greg's like, well, can't be friends with them anymore.
Greg cracks me the fuck up, dude. Is Greg from Boston? He's a Boston guy, right?
We started out together, like, within a week of each other.
Yeah.
I've been friends with that dude for like 35 fucking years, maybe more.
Yeah, Greg's still in LA, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
Dude, Greg was there when I did some it was like a halfway house show or something like that. I don't know. I was just at the store and they just asked me, do you want to pop on this one? And it was like, all right, it's like Greg, it was Joey, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go do it. And I did it, and I was doing these like, I did some Down syndrome. It was kind of like long, to be honest with you.
Oh, that was
Did you hear this story?
The Down syndrome group?
I had no clue because they told me half house. So I was like, oh, it's guys who are like drug addicts, alcoholics.
Yeah.
And I did like a long bit about it, and it didn't go great. Like everything was kind of good up until that moment, and then it kind of went south, and I was like, oh, that was weird. And I get on stage, and Joey's like waiting there, or Greg, I forget which of the way, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, like I thought it was going well, and then it just kind of tanked. He's like, yeah, because it's all of them. They're out there. This is like a charity show or a benefit for it. Yeah, it's like, you got to let me know that.
Yeah, you should let people know that. I had a very similar thing happen. I had a bit about how, like, there's certain words that are offensive, but wouldn't it be better if instead of, like, banning these words, if, like, the government issued, like, retard tags, like hunting tags, like you get 5 a year, you just gotta know when to use them, you know, and these people were just...
This is fascism. Government quotas?
Well, it wasn't even a quota.
Fascist,
but I would be like, you do not want to go outside on December 31st when all the retard tags are going because everybody's got 3 extra retard tags they got to use.
We got to use them.
Yeah.
Can't let these things go to waste. They don't roll over.
But I did it there, and people were like, ugh. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What's wrong? And then afterwards they told me, I was like, how about a heads up?
Oh, wait, you did it also
Yes.
How many of these benefits are they doing at the comedy store?
A ton. It takes a lot of money.
Fair enough.
You know.
Yeah.
It's an education thing. But I fucked up too. Same thing. And then I was like, oh, why didn't you tell me?
I felt something in the... I felt it. Bro, I felt it. It was like, it just went south. And the look was like, does he not know? I think they thought that I did. They didn't. I don't think they thought I was being edgy.
They thought you didn't know.
They were like, oh, he doesn't know.
Right.
You know?
So they're like, they have a sour, like, oh,
yeah.
no, he doesn't know.
It's like if somebody was talking to someone in the crowd before and everybody knows about that person, and then you're doing something completely unrelated, and they're like, oh, yeah. He doesn't know that, like, she just lost her husband. Yeah. I'm just doing my 5-minute widow bit. Yeah. Yeah, but that's the fun stuff.
Yeah.
That's what Charlemagne loves. He's just he's like, at his core, he's like a real, like, comedian at his core. Like, to the point, like, he'll love bombing. He, like, watching people bomb. He, like, really likes that. I think it's like a full emotion to him. And so at the end of the show in rehab, we brought Alex Media, who was on the show, and he had to do one joke in front of everybody. And, like, the joke is pretty good. Alex is a black dude, and he's like, you know, it's cool to be here. You know, I'll be honest, like, I see these outfits, and it's the only time I'm surrounded by guys in white sheets that I don't feel like they're gonna kill me. Something like that. Like some little cutesy joke. And then Charlemagne goes, nah, bro, like, they're treating you like the autistic kid that gets going in the fourth quarter. The ball boy for that joke wasn't it, bro. He's like, They think that you have autism and they're giving you a shot at the end of the season.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, he's a funny dude. There's a lot of funny people that don't get into comedy. It's interesting. I've known quite a few that are like, man, you're really a comedian and you never really got after it. You know, there's a bunch of people like that. I used to work for a guy who was a private investigator. Yeah. Was the funniest fucking dude I had ever been around in my life. Yeah. And I was trying to be a comedian at the time. I was an open micer. I was 21. Yeah. And his name was Dick Dolan. Dave Dolan, rather. He called himself Dynamite Dickless Dave Dolan. That was his name. He's whenever I have a phone that I kept. It's an iPhone like 10 or some shit like that. Yeah. And I kept that phone just because I have a voicemail on there for him before he died. Yeah. He's like, Joe Rogan, it's Dynamite Dickless Dave Dolan. How you doing, buddy? And like, he was just a funny fucking dude. He was hilarious. And we would catch mostly people that were doing insurance fraud.
Oh, as a PI.
He was a private investigator. Yeah. And I worked for him. And the way I worked
as
for him.
As a PI?
Yeah. I was looking for a job and different things to do to make money while I was doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And he had this ad for, it was private investigator's assistant. I was like, ooh, that sounds exciting. Really what it was is he had lost his license drunk driving, and he needed someone to drive his car around. Because he still had to work. And so I met him, and he was his cousin was Bill Downs, who owned the Comedy Connection. So he was related. Like we
in
just
Rhode Island,
we hit it. No, it was in Boston at the time.
Oh.
And then it eventually went to Faneuil Hall, and then now it's the Wilbur Theater. But that was Bill Blumenreich eventually bought it from them. But Bill Downs and Paul Barkley were the original owners of the Comedy Connection. And so I was like, how are you not a comedian? Like, you're the funniest fucking guy I know.
What did he say?
He's not interested. He was just funny. But he would like, we would like catch people doing stuff. Most of it was like insurance fraud, but we'd have to like wait for them in front of their house at like 4 o'clock in the morning for them to get up and have like a fake job where they were like pretending to be disabled. I hurt my back at work, but really they were roofing somewhere, and we would catch them. And and so we would be just in the car, just me and him, and we were just talking shit. And I would be crying. And I remember I was dating this girl, and I went over her place afterwards. I was like, this guy's so much funnier than me, and he has no desire to be a comedian.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird. Yeah. Like, he's a natural comic. Just funny all the time. Yeah. You know, had this, I don't give a fuck, I'm never getting married. Yeah. You know, he always cheated on his girlfriends, didn't care. He let them know. Yeah. He's like, I'm not changing. He acted like a drunk even when he was sober.
Yeah.
Even when he was sober, he was like, he kept that whole, we're on a bender mentality. Yeah. He just was sober. Yeah. And rode that bitch right into the rocks. Rode that fucking boat right into the shore.
God bless him.
And then died.
God bless him.
Yeah, he was a fun dude, man. Like, one of the most fun people I've ever been friends with in my life.
Some of the most naturally funny people, I think, aren't comedians.
Yes, a lot.
In the hang. And it's a different art. Like, when you got to do it on stage, there's different expectations, and it changes things. But, like, just in the hang, they're almost, like, unaware they're funny.
Right.
They're not even trying to make you laugh.
Right.
You know, it's just kind of, it's like effortless to them.
And some of them, you know, that do try to do comedy like that never figure out how to translate it, which is really weird.
I think it's almost too easy for them in conversation, so they don't do the work to transition it to stage.
Or they have this idea of what they're supposed to be on stage, and it's very different than what they are when they're with their friends.
That's the first thing I tell like young comics that ask for advice. I just go, how are you funniest around the people you're most comfortable with? Like, are you telling stories? Are you self-deprecating? Are you kind of roasting? Like, the people you're most comfortable with, how are you funny? And that, I think, is like the easiest way to access like your voice or whatever we call it, and then just add 10 years of trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But like, you're right, some people like try to put on a cadence of what they think a stand-up will talk about. And it's normal in the beginning, like you're just trying to figure this shit out.
You sound like Attell.
Exactly. Yeah. Like in New York, everybody sounded like Attell. Yeah. Like when I was coming up, Attell was, even the way that they would do act-out sounds, it was all versions of Attell. And like naturally, you're going to gravitate to the best guy and what he's doing. And I'm sure like in LA, everybody was trying to be Dane or something like that.
There's
like,
a bunch of guys who are trying to be Chappelle.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Patrice would say that you're his babies. I got a bunch of babies out there.
Oh, I mean, I was a baby of Patrice for sure. Like I remember seeing him and just going like, oh my God, this is the highest form.
Joey Diaz was the best example of a guy who one day figured it out. Joey Diaz was the funniest guy in the parking lot. Yeah. The funniest. Yeah. The funniest guy in the hang. If you were in the back bar, he was the funniest. He was holding court. Yeah. Everybody was dying. We're falling on the ground laughing. Yeah. When he would get on stage, he would try to be a comedian. Yeah. He would try to like set up punchline, tell a joke. I got a little joke for you. And then one day he gave up. He gave up on being cast in movies. He gave up on the dream of having a sitcom, and he got real fat. Like when I first met Joey, he was built like a linebacker. He was a tank, and he's fresh out of jail. You know, it was a different Joey.
Jail beef.
It was Scary Joey. Yeah. And Scary Joey gave in to Fat Joey, and then Mitzi Shore started calling him Fat Baby, and that's all she would put him on as the lineup. It wouldn't be Joey Diaz; it would be Fat Baby. She wanted to call him Fat Baby.
Oh, so he would lean into this.
She had this idea of changing his name to Fat Baby.
Yeah.
You know, she named people, right? She named Carlos Mencia.
What do you mean?
She came up with that name.
That's not his real name?
No, it's not his real name. His name is Ned. It's like Ned Wholeness or something like that. She came up with the idea of him having that name. Yeah. That was part of the whole video of me, like, exposing him.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not even Mexican. And the Mexicans in the crowd were like, what?
Yeah. I mean, he's close.
Honduran.
Yeah.
Yeah, half German, half Honduran. But whatever it is.
It's a bus stop.
The thing is, Mitzi named him.
Yeah.
And so Mitzi would name people.
Yeah.
And she wanted to name Joey Fat Baby. And so the old lineups, I got some old lineups from the Comedy Store, and one of them, it says Fat Baby.
I love it. I love it.
But when he got fat, dude, when he started not giving a fuck and he would go on stage, all of a sudden, he went from not having good sets, to kind of maybe it was a pretty good set, to destroying.
Liberating.
Destroy. He was free.
Yeah.
He got free, and he became the guy on stage that he was in the back. It was also around the time where medical marijuana started like really popping off in LA. So Joey was on like 500 milligram Chiba Juice all day.
Just let it go.
just obliterated, and dosing people on his podcast and laughing. He was just a full-on maniac, and the absolute best guy to take on the road with you. There was no one better.
Yeah.
You take him on the road with you. You guarantee you were having a party everywhere you go. It's a party at dinner.
Yeah.
It's a party hanging out at the hotel afterwards. It's a party. Joey Diaz is there. We're having fun. And, and he just figured out how to be that guy on stage. And then he became Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
But it was like everybody watched it happen. Like, whoa, I never seen anybody just figure it out like that. Where, like, you went from being a 4 or a 5 to a 10.
Immediately.
To a 10, to where people are lining up in the back of the room going, what the fuck, man? Holy shit.
Did something happen culturally where what he was doing was refreshing too? Or do you really think he just changed?
He figured it out. I stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I stopped giving a fuck about those fucking people.
Yeah.
I was worried about those people. You're going to give me a job. I want a job. I was a fucking convict.
Yeah.
I had to be careful.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, these people ain't giving me shit. Fuck these people.
Yeah.
And then was like right around the time, ironically, that he did The Longest Yard. So he started getting movies, started getting all kinds of things.
That's what always happens.
Because he didn't give a fuck anymore. And all of a sudden he was just so funny that he was undeniable.
And then when you're undeniable, all those opportunities pop up. That's the other thing. It's like, I think sometimes I hear comics talk about like the importance of networking. And I'm like, it's so easy to network when you're funny.
Yeah.
Like, once you're funny, people want to talk to you. Like, once they admire what you're doing on that stage, they want to hang out. The people that are not funny, now you got to fucking hang out every single second and network and
But the worst is the networking people that aren't funny that are always trying to get work. And you're like, hey, if I wanted to give you work, I would ask.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing the wrong kind of work. You're doing the network work and not doing the why am I not funny enough work.
Yeah.
What's missing? Why do I not have an audience? Like, why do people not want to go see me again? Like, what is that? Yeah.
I mean, they will see you again if you give them a good show.
If you give them a good show. But if you don't, it's like, there's a lot of comedy out there, kids.
There is a lot of comedy out there.
A lot of comedy out there.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why, like, I'm like kind of strict on you just got to give them something new every time you go in. Like, I feel strongly about it because it's like if they see the same thing twice. And I'm talking about when I'm going out on a tour.
To a new market.
Yeah.
A market that you've been to.
Yeah, it's like,
very important.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Like, shit, it's not cheap to go out to a show.
Right.
Like, so if they're getting a babysitter, they're doing the whole thing, and then they see the thing they saw before, it's like maybe they have a good time, but there's a little part of them they feel maybe taken advantage of in some way.
Well, some of them, they'll want to see bits again. Like, that's like the Hot Pockets thing with Gaffigan.
But I feel like they want to see that.
And a bunch of other stuff.
Yes. Like, if you give them 45 of just new heat that they haven't heard before, and then at the end...
You tell the machine story.
They love it.
Yeah.
And then you get to live in the nostalgia of it. You get to take your friend that you told this story to, or this joke, it's so funny, I hope he does it. And then you get to watch them experience it.
Yeah.
It's like sharing a clip with them on Instagram and just watching them laugh.
Right.
So you get to experience that. But, like, the whole hour? Nah. You got to have something new. Like, we got